back to the channel. So it appears Lake Resources, their CEO has exited and sold his shares according to the Motley Fool. Hammered Tuesday appears driven by shock exit of CEO. So my thoughts are on this company is, does the technology work? Like, if the technology works, direct lithium extraction, why has it failed so many times in the Salton Sea? And why isn't someone like Abamali, who's printing money with lithium, doing it that way? If it was the best way to do it, why doesn't this company realize that with all the money they have and have done it themselves? That's the question I ask when investing in Lake. I don't know the answer. I don't know if it works or not. A lot of people are just trusting that, oh, Ford's been in there, surely it's not a scam. Surely it works if Ford's in there. And what has that Ford actually done? Has Ford made an investment? Or have they just signed it saying, yes, we'll take that 50,000 tons per annum if you can make it. And if you can't make it, this paper's worthless. So that's the question. Does it work? And have you seen it with your own eyes? And who knows? It might work and they go up, but my money, and it smells like, to me, it doesn't work. Otherwise, why haven't they done it? Why aren't the big companies already there, who've been doing it there for years, pick this up? Why didn't Lilac go to this company? Yeah, that's just the questions that don't quite make sense to me. And I'm not a Lake investor. I'm salty I missed out. Definitely. I've lost some money in shares lately in the lithium space. Not gonna lie. And yeah, salty. Call me salty, whatever. I don't care. I missed out on Lake. But does the technology work? E3 metals. And I did lots of videos on E3 metals, which I sold out of as well. Mainly because I was investing in smaller caps that can grow on bigger multiples, and they were sorta already grew. And I've actually sold out quite high in this company, so it was a good sale. And does their technology work? So anyway, if you bought Lake, you can buy this company for $100 million. So why were people buying Lake for $2 billion? Now it's closer. So direct lithium extraction, if it worked, I think we might already be doing it. It's like hard rock, with hard rock companies like CXO. Bit of a downturn today, but there's big companies near Core Lithium who are doing it at scale already. So you can say, well, these guys are doing it at scale, selling in China. Core Lithium can. I know I invest in Core Lithium, but there is another. Core Lithium's good because they didn't have to spend much money to get the mine online. They're going to get it out of the ground quite cheaply, sell it to China, make a lot of money. I wouldn't be buying them now because they're pretty much growing. Like, they might make $100 to $200 million a year for 20 years, but you're paying $2 billion to get that money. And then it's a question of how they reinvest that money to grow. So based on the one mine they have now, probably expensive, but if they get that money out of that mine and put towards other things, they keep growing. Because I'm guessing that's probably what happened at the start with BHP. Is maybe they start. I don't know how BHP started, but they must have started with one project, grew and grew and grew, and they paid out a lot of dividends. So this up and down doesn't mean much because they paid out a lot of dividends. Anyway, there's a company next to CXO called LPM. So CXO's done the drilling. It's all been there. This company hasn't. They've drilled like one hole. They're right next to CXO, which is not far out of Darwin, a capital city. So to get workers cheap, to get it built cheap, to get it onto the barge cheap, to build the next stage. Like, if they want to, instead of selling China, convert it themselves, it's going to be a lot cheaper than if it's 500 kilometers away from Darwin. Everything's going to be a lot cheaper. But these guys, there's a bit of risk. They have to drill out their site, make sure it's there, raise the money. Then there has to be enough demand there. But among things, I think this is a pretty good buy. It's not 17 million market cap. I think it's more like 35 million market cap with 10 million in cash. Yeah, so they're a pretty good play in the lithium space. I think Probably a good time to buy it now it's dying. It could go down a lot more. Who knows? Everything's a risk, and if you don't want to risk, you should just go to your job each day, pay down your house, and only buy stuff you need. And shares are more like going to the horses. Like, the idea of investing, you got to make the most money with the least amount of risk. Like the CEO, do you reckon he risked money? No, he got paid to run the company. And if the shares went up, he got even more money. And he probably didn't have much risk at all. And all us idiots buy these shares. That's the same as like LPM. The guys running the company, they're getting paid to run it. And if they find 10 million tons in lithium, the shares go bananas. They're already getting paid. And they get a lot of money. It's a win-win for the people running these companies. So, remember, the idea of investing is to get the best return with the lowest risk. And who knows? Who knows what you need in life? Anyway, we all knew that. So, there are scams around. Be careful. Just remember, does it work? Lake resources, right now, say a whole lake. Say I bought it $2. I don't know. Altogether, I'd probably just sell out a lake now, regardless of where I bought it. This is me personally. Unless you work at Lake and you've seen the technology, or work at Lilac and seen the technology working at a pretty good scale, I'd probably be selling out of it. Otherwise, it's a pretty big risk, in my opinion. I know there might be tax things you might have bought less than a year ago. Who knows? But personally, I'm not buying to Lake. Call me salty because I missed out. Fine. But actually, Novonics, I bought $1, sold at $10 to $12. Bought them here, sold up here, knew they were ridiculously high, just ridiculous. They're going to make $500 million a year at the most, and I can't remember, they're worth like close to $10 billion. So it's just a ridiculous price tag, because they were years away from making $500 million, because they had technology saying they're going to make a really long-lasting battery out of nickel. But then LFP came along, and LFP just lasts forever anyway, regardless of these guys, in my uneducated opinion. So things can change, and if it goes ridiculous, sell that thing. Sell that thing. GL1, this is another one. Just my thoughts on my portfolio. This was just my diary. So I bought it 40 cents. They went up. It wasn't really ridiculous price. Quite high, but not ridiculous. Saying they could go to closer to $1 billion once they get into production. And it's a good chance they will get into production. And they come down a bit. So yeah. It's quite hard to swallow. I guess everyone's down at the moment. But I bought pretty low in the first place. Like, I bought for 40 million. And it was pretty good risk to return. And who knows where they'll go. They'll probably dwindle down for a bit, then probably go up if they get into production. They're going to be making $100 million a year if they can get a production by 2024. And then I think later on the margins get lower. But who knows, they can get better at making it at a cheaper price. I don't know, but yeah, it's just me talking about my companies that I own. Here's a company here. Bought at 4 cents. They went crazy. Came back down. And they still go good. They could have hit a big thing in nickel. That's a high upside of this company. They have hit rare earths. They're going to keep drilling out rare earths. And rare earths are important to make those efficient electric car motors that we all use in the future. And they might just dwindle down and go to nothing, but pretty good chance here. And my favorite stock of all, in Quebec with graphite. They got graphite in the ground at high grades near America. We need graphite for those batteries. They got about 3 million cash. They've spent about 6 million drilling on their project already, and they'll probably most likely uncover a good amount of graphite, and good chance they might get into production. Risk they don't get in production, I don't know. It's pretty murky, the future, but at this price, it's pretty good compared to anything else you can buy. These guys, good upside, low entry point, still risky, And that's it for this video. Thank you.